and welcome into a For What It's Worth quick take episode number 5. I'm your host, Calvin Silvers. Yes, it's just me again. If you watched the last episode or the last quick take episode, it was just me there as well. I didn't have Tyrone, Brian, or Eric, but I just decided to record this one in the same night as that other one because I wanted to get this news out, in my opinion, out on this one quickly as well before it became old and recycled news. So I'm going to talk the Diggs trade. It's a quick take episode, so that means I'm going to give myself 15 minutes to do this. And if I don't get my opinion out in that 15 minutes when the timer goes off, it doesn't matter. I have to stop. As mentioned, we're going to talk the Diggs trade to the Texans. And here we go. Let's start the timer now. And I forgot to mention, timer's already started. Doesn't matter. If you're watching this on YouTube or on Spotify, like through the screen, the timer's somewhere up there. I don't know where. I'm looking around. It's somewhere. I don't remember where I put it, in editing. But if you're not watching, I'll try to say how much time I have. But since it's only one topic, I might not do so well. The other episode, I could say, we have 11 minutes left because there's a break in between each topic. Here, we don't have it. And I just wasted 30 seconds explaining that. So let's go ahead. So the question is, with the offseason moves and the trade for Diggs, what are the expectation for the Houston Texans? And it's Super Bowl. It's Super Bowl in the next 2 to 3 years. And here's why. One, the Texans spent $142 million fully guaranteed money in free agents this offseason. That's the second most of any team in the NFL. And in that, they added a 2025 second-round pick for Diggs. And, that's not a nothing type of pick. That's not a 6th, 7th-round pick. That's a second-round pick. And it's immediate. Not immediate in the fact that, I can use it in this draft, like that's coming up in a few weeks. No, in the next year. But that's still pretty quick. That's a pretty quick turnaround for a pick. And now you're adding a receiver in Diggs who has 6 straight years with more than 1,000 yards. Big time. Big time receiver. And it was just bound to happen. The Bills and Diggs splitting was bound to happen. He was upset in Buffalo. He felt like their Super Bowl chance had closed. That window was closed. And if not, it was closing quick. And this last year probably did it. Probably put the nail in the coffin. And just with rumors of Josh Allen and him and how toxic it kind of got towards the end there, it was just bound to happen. Diggs wasn't happy in Buffalo. He was being kind of a diva. His production went down, just made it more toxic. The second half of the season, that is, his production went down. The first half of the season, he was getting his yardage, but second half it went down. But besides the point, it was just becoming a toxic place for him. Whoever you want to point as the fault of that, whether it's Allen, whether it's Diggs himself, because he did have a drop pass against Kansas City that could have potentially got them over that hump this year. You had Kansas City, in your backyard, in your home stadium. That's what you wanted. That's what you were begging for. You finally get it. Diggs is, put on the biggest moment, and he drops one. So it was just both sides. Fingers were starting to be pointed. Blame was starting to be thrown around. As I mentioned, Mahomes isn't going to slow down. You had a chance, but he proved that he's not slowing down. That window's closing. And now you get asked to come to the Texans with a stacked offense and a rookie, well, not a rookie quarterback now, but that played his rookie season. It was fantastic. Got this team to the playoffs with a first-year head coach as well, which we'll get to in a second. We'll talk about in a second, which is crazy. He's 30 years old. So, he wants to get this done quick. Allen wasn't getting it done for him. Now you got this nice new shiny toy, CJ Stroud. But that could be a problem. We'll get to that in a second. And this is all possible. This whole potential of Super Bowl or bust in the next 2 to 4 years for the Texans is all possible because CJ Stroud is on his rookie contract. We're hitting about the 10-minute, 45-second mark for anyone that's not watching. I just looked at the timer. Anyways, back to my point. CJ Stroud's on his rookie contract, so it's Super Bowl or bust in the next 2 to 4 years because you have the kind of money, and as I mentioned, it was $142 million fully guaranteed in this offseason. You have that kind of money to play with because your quarterback who could play at the level to at least get you to a playoff is on his rookie contract. You got to try it. You just got to hope the football gods are in your favor, and that you caught lightning in a bottle, and CJ Stroud can somehow lead you there quickly. But here's also why there's those expectations, that stuff I haven't mentioned. They're sending the Bills also a 2024 6th-round pick and a 2025 5th-round pick. So they're sending picks out. They're not keeping picks around for the next couple of years. Again, proving that it's now or never. Last year, the Texans traded a future first-round pick to move up to number 3. Another big-time pick that they gave away, that they're trying to get a pick now. It's now or never. And right now, they're easily the best-built team in the AFC South, especially in the AFC South. No one's going to catch them in the next couple of years. So you're going to win that. So if you know that you're solidified there, then you just hope, like I said, you have a little luck on your side. Hopefully that you caught some lightning in a bottle with CJ Stroud and you go on a little run. You have DeMeco Ryan. So he's already now had a full year of being a head coach under his belt. And like I said, that first year he leads you to a playoff. Now he's already had that experience. Now he's already know what it's like. Now he's already connected with these players at that level. So now going into this season, it's a different feel. Now you could argue that plays against them. Now he might feel that there's this pressure and he has to act a certain way. Or maybe he gets away from what was working last year because now he has to be more difficult on his guys or hold them to a higher expectation. So that coaching style kind of goes away. You can argue that. I don't think it happens. I think he's a great enough coach to not let that happen. As mentioned, power-filled offense. Stroud, Mixon, Diggs, Collins, Dell, Schultz, etc. And you have a coach that is highly disciplined in defense. So you have a great offense mixed with the head coach that you know is going to have that defense ready. That's going to complement your offense. That's exciting. It's nice to know as an offense that, my head coach has a defense ready just in case something happens. That they can go out there and get the ball back for me. It's a well-built team. As I mentioned, not only are they the favorites in the AFC South in my eyes, they're just a top 5 team in the AFC, and Mahomes isn't slowing down. We're hitting about 7 minutes and 30 seconds. But Mahomes isn't slowing down anytime soon. So whenever there's a glimmer of hope for any of these AFC teams, or you have an opportunity like this to quickly assemble a team that you just hope can knock off the Chiefs, or you hope something bad happens to the Chiefs, you have to take it. You have to. So they're smart for that. Now, I am worried about Diggs and the drama that he could bring with him. The Texans are waiving off the remaining 3 years on his contract so he could be a free agent after the season, and that's just the organization giving him leverage. He now has leverage over them. And why do you need to motivate a 30-year-old player who was upset he couldn't win a Super Bowl? Why? Now you have an opportunity with a younger team, a team that's electric, a team that has a great coach leading them, a guy that everyone respects. Like I said, you have money to play with to bring in big names. Why do you need to motivate Diggs? Why? He shouldn't need motivation. You shouldn't have to play that to him. You shouldn't be giving him this superstar treatment right away. I feel like that's going to put some pressure on Stroud to force the ball to Diggs because he feels like, I have to, make this 1 year count for him. It's a contract year for Diggs now. Diggs has the leverage. And we saw just how much, drama he carried with him in Buffalo towards the end. That's the only thing that worries me about this whole trade. But besides that, if he stays in line and he just plays to what we know he can play as, Stroud plays to what we think he can play as, the potential he has, we think he could play up to that. Yeah, you're smart if you're the Texans. As mentioned, you have to take any opportunity, whether it's small or not. It's preseason. We don't know what's going to happen to the Chiefs this season, but you have money. Play with it. This is your only chance. You have a rookie quarterback that's going nuts. Try. You might not get too many of them. All right, I'm going to stop it there. That was another good one, another quick one. 5:19 left on the clock around that time. I'm proud of myself. I feel like I went through all my notes very quickly, got through them, got my opinions out there. And also, too, we'll probably revisit this with Tyrone and Eric and Brian. So I didn't want to go too in depth, but I think I gave you guys enough. So, as mentioned, for what it's worth, quick take episode number 5. If you're not following any of our socials, go ahead and please do. We're on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Spotify. Type in for what it's worth. If that doesn't work, type in at FWIW Sports Pod. Go ahead, follow, subscribe, do whatever you can on whatever platform you're on. Go ahead, send the link to your friends, family, dogs, cats, whoever. Go ahead, send it to them. We appreciate it. I appreciate it. I know Tyrone, Brian, and Eric aren't here right now, but they would say the same thing, that they appreciate it as well. And until next time, I'm your host, Calvin Silvers. Have a good one.